Rift Rivals. But slide number 1 on this one is better NA excuse. Rift Rivals doesn't matter, or Aatrox, Heimer, OP.
This one actually hits really close to home because we lost every single game to Aatrox and Heimerdinger. And as an excuse, that's not really a good excuse because we're just like, we weren't good at these champions.
But I also don't like the excuse that Rift Rivals doesn't matter, especially after watching the LCK, LPL, LMS Rift Rivals. It's a tournament that the fan bases care about. It's an opportunity to play the top teams from another region, which you're going to be doing for Worlds. I think Rift Rivals matters, so I think the better excuse is that Aatrox and Heimer,
the thing about excuses is
them.
You're not supposed to like the excuses. They never sound good. It means you lost in the first place, which we did.
That's a better one.
But this one is actually, exactly. This one follows the course of what happened, and this is pretty true, so I'll also go with that.
Yeah, no excuses. EU was just better, but a lot of it was because they're
They were better at these champions.
Next slide, number 2, and other things. More likely, TSM go 2-0 against 100 Thieves and Echo Fox, or TSM go 0-2 against, obviously, the same teams.
Yeah, that's, I mean, because initially you're like, these are the 2 teams that switched up players, right? For Rift Rivals. 100 Thieves, I feel like there's more turmoil inside the team. Their switch up it felt like it was pressured, it was rushed. I don't think they would have wanted it to end up this way.
And all of these teams are tied for first. They're all 4-2.
They're all tied for first, but I feel like there's a better chance that TSM would beat 100 Thieves after we don't even know what their actual starting roster is going to be. They said it would probably be with Anda, and they haven't played any games with him.
It is more likely that TSM go 2-0 because of the roster shuffles on 100 Thieves and Echo Fox, whereas TSM is probably just going with Grig again.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's more likely, but not super likely, if that makes sense.
I would say this as well, because of the 100 Thieve roster swap things, and Huni was turbo feeding at Rift Rivals.
Turbo feeding. I would like to go with the other thing, which is TSM 1-1, but I'm not allowed, so I'm going with this. Slide number 3. This or that, which league is stronger? The LPL or the LCK?
We were discussing this.
Topic of conversation happening all over because LPL has now won MSI and 2 consecutive Rift Rivals, even though the LCK has the World Championship.
And historically, LCK has always been on the top. So every year, we're thinking, when is it going to switch? When is it going to switch? This year, LPL, the region as a whole, does look a lot stronger. And I feel like RNG is for sure their front runner, but teams like IG will also be able to put up a good fight. The thing that really makes it interesting now is that LPL have won actually multiple things like you're talking about. Double Rift Rivals, MSI, and this year, I'm almost ready to push them over and give them the edge going into Worlds.
The LCK doesn't have that definitive dominant team this year because SKT is in shambles.
Griffin.
Every time Kingzone goes to international events, and then your top teams, Kingzone or KT, Afrika, and Griffin, are all unproven on the international stage. So because of that, I give the LPL a slight edge, actually, which is madness. But that's what we got. Next slide. Number 4, this. Huni, playing copy or getting worse, or both?
I don't feel like he's getting worse. It is a tough one, actually,
weird,
right?
Because playing cocky infers that you're playing too aggressive and he's punished, which is a symptom of being worse.
Yeah.
Right? Either you're playing amazingly or you're not playing that good. So I think they somewhat mean the same thing. I think because he is playing so cocky, that means he is executing worse.
He is making more mistakes, right?
Yeah.
So
a lot of like weird flanks that are just going through wards.
But that's to say, is he getting worse like as a player? Is he? Do we predict him to continue playing poorly?
Then I say no, and I would say this. Based on that convoluted reasoning.
But playing cocky is getting worse.
Yes.
Like Huni, you're being worse. But I think
still trust that he'll be able to double down, take the losses, get better. So I don't think it's now like, oh, he's no longer a valuable player. Therefore,
he has the talent, but why is he pushing up level 2 versus team when he has a funnel comp? He knows he's going to get ganked, those types of things.
Because he wants to turbo feed. Next slide. He doesn't want to. This or that, better for 100 Thieves, Levi and Brandini, or Anda and Someday.
Ooh.
They have to make this choice now because of the import restrictions. If they are playing Levi, that means they can't play either Someday or Ryu.
My boy Someday over here killed it in the last week of the North American LCS. And Brandini, he did have a rough go in some of the games. He was focused and they put him in a tough situation, but I feel like this is for sure my choice.
Yeah.
Which is that.
I agree with you, but what I want to see is I want to see them doing some wheeling and dealing and try and get a mid laner that they're willing to play in the LCS. So they can do Levi and
also?
someday and someone else. Because I haven't been super impressed by Ryu lately, but who knows what they're going to do. Their final plan is yet to be revealed, I think. Next slide of this or that. Will Cloud9 make playoffs? Yes or no? I have a bet with Azale about this that they will. And if you want the details, we don't have them yet, but I'm going to say yes.
I already did the details. The loser is going to cast Cloud9's game in makeup done by the winner.
Not locked in yet. I want ideas. Hit us on Twitter and Instagram. What are you saying?
Are they going to make playoffs? I wanted to go. Like, you got me hyped up on them making playoffs.
Now, one of 5 teams going to make a run.
That would be a more interesting story. They'll put Sneaky back in. They're going to make the run. They're going to hire High as a coach, temporary analyst for them to get them through regionals, and they're going to do it.
Okay, we both say yes. The last place team is going to be a top 6 team by the end of the split. Is that the last slide? I think it was. No, bigger trader, Jatt or double lift. What a double lift trade.
Explain this one for the people that actually don't know.
Yeah.
At Rift Rivals, Jatt predicted European teams to win every single game.
On a day, yes. And then they still won more games. I was specifically saying that EU was greater than NA, which they turned out to be. So really, I was just right. However, I was also wrong because on the final day, I predicted them to win. But I need to figure out what's happening.
Did you remember this game versus G2?
Oh, when he just bailed? No, that's just the correct play.
Yeah. I don't think that's being a traitor. They brought him into this situation. They're going to die. He wants to live.
Yeah. My favorite part was the graph that, or the standings that production put together of greatest traders of all time. There was
You're number 2.
I was number 2.
It's gotta be you.
And trending upwards. So I don't see that even ranking close. It's clearly this, the repurposed C9 COG GIF, which will have a use when C9 makes
Don't
playoffs.
call it a GIF, please. GIF.
We've had this discussion before. I believe that'll do it for this or that.
We're done.
With Kobe and Jatt. We're done. But there were many debates to still happen for the rest of time. Is it the pronunciation? Is it the pronunciation? We'll never know.
That's not true. You can't just say, we'll never know at the end of anything.
Or is it Whippo? Is it Shaco?